We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hang on to your fucking hats. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock and hopefully you're 3 beers deep already. Welcome to The Game's Gone. Let's all pretend we're Tony Yeboah and Thunderbasted this shit. Fuck Roma. Yes, lads.
Yes, lads, indeed. Coming at you live on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Periscope. It is episode 3 of At The Game's Gone. Without further ado, and regardless if you're in tier 1 or 2, the only tier that matters is O102, and it's of course CM0102. Let's get this going, and let's thunderbastard that shit, in the words of the good lady. First of all, as you know, guys, usually joined tonight by two heroes of the CM0102 community. The first of which was once described by his wife as a bit of a prick, a bit of a shambles, and follically challenged, and that was before she seen him manage on CM102. It's Jamie Hopkins. How you doing, mate?
Cheers for that.
You're welcome, mate. You're very welcome. How you doing? You well?
Yeah, good. Looking forward to this.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. And the second part of the Triangle CM102 trio is a man who was once extorted by a Palestinian chat roulette racket. I'm sure he'll tell you about that one day. It's Mr. Joseph Woda.
Evening, you all right?
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, yeah. Well, that's a story for another time.
Story for another time. Maybe for the meet.
We'll leave it there.
Maybe for the meet-up, yeah. And I'm delighted to say that we are joined by a special guest tonight, someone that those of you who are involved in the Twitter CM0102 world will know. It's Mr. Smuts. How you doing, lad?
Oi, 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 oi. Hello, hello, hello.
And
Glad to be back.
How many beers deep are you?
Well, I haven't eaten yet, so that's not helped. But it's
Absolutely
at least 4 or 5, and I have just poured myself another. So yeah, it's good. It's going to go well.
Fantastic.
Professional as ever.
Cheers for coming on, man. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have kind of heard you be so positive about the stream over the last couple of weeks. And just on that note, thank you so much to all you guys out there across the different channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Periscope for supporting us. You can see the tags are on there, the handles are on there. If you can give us a like on your desired platform, and also most importantly, give it an interaction. Yeah, get on The Game's Gone, play along live. Joe, I think you're monitoring the hashtags tonight. Is that right?
Yeah. If you need me to, I'm there. Yeah.
Spot on. Loads of chat kicking off in there, and I think we'll get started with two stories that have been floating around for a while, but have really taken off today and really seem as though they've kind of made progress. Smuts, Premier League and AFL agree a rescue package amounting to £250 million. Obviously, you're a Leicester fan. What's your thoughts on lower league football at the moment?
It's not enough money.
Not
Give
enough.
them, it needs far more than that. I had a scroll down, I had a look through, and the paltry amount of money that's being there. We sold Harry Maguire for 80 million quid. The £8 million that we're giving just to the Championship buys him about 3 inches of him, and that is just it's a joke. It really is. It's lovely that they're doing something, and it's step one, but that's just...
It buys you 2/3 of Nicolas Pepe as well, doesn't it?
Jesus, wet.
Joseph Woodard is on a personal mission to absolutely destroy what little career Nicolas Pepe has left, isn't that right?
I just think he's in terms of players that have been bought for fees and the sort of output that they have, I think he's the biggest sort of flop out of them all.
Yeah.
I know Hopkins used to say Joe Linton, but
No, I was going to say Naby Keita.
Oh, fair enough.
why would you say that?
I mean, he's been unlucky with injuries, I think. You know, you can't stay fit for more than 2 matches, but yeah, I get what you're saying there.
He
Hopkins,
just won the Premier League last season.
Hopkins, you're a man involved in grassroots football, do a lot of coaching. What's your thoughts on this, especially now that Project Big Picture has been abandoned?
Well, it's as Matt said, it's something in it, but let's be honest. Look at the League 1 and 2. You know, 375k. It's just ridiculous. I don't really know how much that gets. You know, where that's going to get. You know, Championship 8 million something. But as you say, I don't know. It goes from 8 million, then it goes down to League 1 and 2, and it's like 375k.
Yeah.
So they're not even getting a tenth of what the Championship clubs are getting now.
Surely that's to scale though, Hopkins. Surely you've got logic will tell you that, you know, the guys who are playing League 2 conferences and whatever, they've got other jobs.
Not League 1.
All right, okay.
All two, they're all professional. I know the money, but I'm just trying to say 375k. You know, they've been going since the start of the season without any fans and everything. I just don't know. You know, that's like trying to say if they're giving them 375k, you know, how much it's like giving a Premier League club, I don't know, 30 million. It's nothing, is it? It's just.
I mean, listen, I get your point, and I think, you know, I made a point on Twitter the other week about fans coming back in and the financial implications that it has, particularly on lower league clubs. That is, for a lower league club, that is your income. That is your sort of, you know, what you rely on. But for Premier League clubs, like I was saying about, like, you know, Newcastle United and speaking to the club, they need much more than 4,000 fans. I know you can't have any in at the minute, but they need much more than 4,000 fans to make any money at all. Yeah. You know, to open the stadium, and they're actually going to be losing money every time they open a stadium and host a game. But for the lower league clubs, like Macclesfield, I think he used as an example, that just on the cusp of Manchester, but they actually fall into Cheshire, which is like a difference between a tier 3 and a tier 2. They could actually have, you know, now 2,000 fans in. They probably went averaging that attendance before lockdown anyway. You know, so whilst we're talking about the sort of bailout, they are going to start getting revenue in now, more so than what the Premier League clubs are doing because of the easing of restrictions, you know what I mean? So that's not the only revenue they're going to have now. And actually, I'm guessing their capacities and their attendances are actually going to go up because other fans can't go to Old Traffords and the Etihads and whatever. They're going to go and see lower league clubs.
So following on from that then, and obviously relative to us and this stream, another massive announcement from the BBC. They have done an actual survey, probably the leading kind of polling company out there, Comres, and they've looked at 2,000 football fans, and they've asked them what they would think of the European Super League. Anything that stood out to you here, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange for me. I mean, I'm, as much as I joke on to wind Hopkins up more than anything about the Super League being a good idea, you know, in my heart of hearts, you know, I am quite a sort of purist in the way of, you know, keep it sort of the English league. I do think the Scottish team should come into the leagues or at least, you know, have a go at the FA Cup or whatever. But the main thing was the demographic demographic of people who were voting that this was a good idea is the sort of younger generations who are, I mean, you tweeted something the other day. There are people out there now who you can hire to play your FIFA games for you and win your trophy online at FIFA. And these fans want to see every week Mbappe playing against, I don't know, Van Dijk, for example, or, the top players across, because they can do it on FIFA, can't they? They can just move a couple of teams and then they're playing every week, aren't they, against one another? So that's what they want.
Obviously, you're a Leicester fan who, up until very recently, didn't really have a massive amount of success within the modern game, within the context of the modern game. I'm just interested in your opinion here, mate. Is this a danger of kind of older fans holding the game back, or is this the FIFA generation not realising what they've got until it's gone?
Yeah, I mean, generationally it probably is, but I mean, from a Leicester fan's point of view, get rid of them 6 teams. Fuck them off. We win the Premier League every time. Happy with that. Look, the Premier League's still the biggest draw. It's still the biggest league in the world. It's still where all the money is. Yeah, great. Get rid of them. I'm literally doing this as a test save on Champ Manager at the minute, in fairness. I've started right at the bottom with St Albans City FC. Got rid of the top 6 teams. Your Chelsea, your Arsenal, your Liverpool, your Man U, your Man City, and that other one.
Who's the other one?
Spurs. They're the only team that have ever finished finished third in a 2-horse race. Yeah, cheers, lads.
And what I think, Hopkins, I'll come to you in a second, but what I think's interesting about this, I'll just highlight a little stat there. I think there's genuine resentment and genuine dissent from within some of the more traditional big teams against this idea. I mean, Arsenal fans are no doubt in favour of it because they're struggling to do anything, never mind qualify for the Champions League at the moment. Chelsea fans are probably in favour of it because, well, they're just money-hungry bastards who want to buy everything, just like City. But Liverpool and Man United, probably 2 of the most traditional teams in the league. Actually, there's a low percentage rate in there for their actual fans being in favour of it. What are your thoughts, Hopkins?
Well, I know what you're saying there about Arsenal, but why the hell would Arsenal want it? They're saying they're struggling to qualify for the Champions League. There's the European Super League. They get battered every week. So what the fuck those fans doing it for? They would be absolute, they're rubbish.
And what European pedigree have Arsenal got?
Yeah, exactly.
Would they even be invited in?
Let's play the big teams every week and get twatted by Bayern Munich 6-0 every week. Like,
I mean, they do have a World Cup winner sat in the reserves. Game, in fairness,
Ozil.
Yes, exactly.
I've just said in the chat there that Ozil's a bit of a joke, isn't he? I mean, he wasn't even named in the squad, was he, this year?
Unreal.
Sat on 300 grand a week,
Listen,
offering to pay the mascot's wage.
The facts of the European Super League is, as I've said many a time, is they need to present exactly how the European Super League is going to work. It's all well and good saying, what's your thoughts? But until a half the game's going to be played in Saudi Arabia, half the game's going to be played in Qatar. Because if people think that they're doing this now and these places aren't going to be holding the majority of the games, they're mad, because that's where they're getting their money from. So they need to say the cold hard facts. So it's going to be it's going to be a league of 16 teams. Half your games are going to be home, half are going to be in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and only then can you actually judge who is it going to be a good. And for like Liverpool fans, right, Liverpool are going in there, but as I've said, so you're going to play one home game, one away, and you're going to play one in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So out of a 39 game league, only 13 are being played at Anfield. So you've got to be thinking, right, so I'm seeing my team live, hell of a lot less now.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a Champions League.
Let me just strip that back, right, about fans and attendance, whatever. Newcastle got bought by this Qatari guy in the summer, and he was the mastermind behind going out and playing in Dubai, but yet he was going to go out and buy you Mbappe in the summer. Would you be saying the same thing?
What, to a European Super League?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want it. But I could, as I said, the same to you.
But what? So hang on. It's the choice between you get bought out and enter the European Super League by this guy who's going to sign you Neymar and Mbappe. I'll just keep using them as examples. There are other top players out there. Or you don't get bought out and you stay in the Premier League in destined for mediocrity by the way, just to hover above relegation. You might get in the top half one season or two, but you're never going to challenge for the top six or break into that top six. What do you take, Hopkins, as a Newcastle fan?
Stay in the Premier League.
But
Why?
This is the key point, though, isn't it?
But hang on a second, because last week Hopkins was saying to me and everyone, and people who have watched the last stream, or maybe even was the episode 1, Hopkins was saying, imagine going through all your life and never seeing us win a trophy. Boo hoo hoo hoo.
The European Super
But
League.
I want to stay in the Premier League where I'm never going to win anything and I'm going to hover above relegation zone. I might drop into the Championship, but I might come back up. But it doesn't really matter.
The same can be said for you, though. Right now, Liverpool, if you had a European Super League, Liverpool are probably one of the favourites who are going to do well. If this was 10 years ago, when Liverpool were pretty shit in the league, they were miles behind Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. They were just making up the numbers in the top 4. And they said, it's going to be European Super League now. And you're sitting there thinking, fuck, we're going to be one of the worst teams in this league, right down the bottom. Would you be saying, well, it's a great idea then?
No, because you're saying that we're going to finish at the bottom, but Mark's made a good point on the chat there. It's going to make the rich richer. We were under Hicks and Gillette during that time. We were under Hicks and Gillette, who weren't investing any money into the club or whatever.
2 days from going into administration, by the way.
2 days into going to admin, whoever was in charge, whatever. We were poorly ran. But if we'd have entered that Super League, we'd have got the cash injection. We'd have
everyone would have.
Yeah. Listen, there's only so many good managers out there. There's only so many good players out there. We've built this ultimate team. Well, we'll come on to talk about it. We built this ultimate team, but we can't take any of the top teams. We can't take any Real Madrid players. We can't take any Roma players out this game because they're already in there. So there's only so many players that can go around. There's only so many managers that can go around. We're just opening doors by entering this European Super League and being able to attract the top talent by being able to pay more than what the Premier League can offer by joining this league.
Let's be realistic about this as well, though. For all whatever your kind of individual opinion is in relation to your own club, there is a danger here that this will not be a fan-driven movement. It will not be a decision that fans are at the centre of. It will be to make money. Joe's just said exactly the kind of right point. In the same way, let's be realistic that the Premier League are all about making money. And whether we get fucked by the Premier League or fucked by the European Super League, there is a real danger that the talk around football at the minute disenfranchises fans a little bit more than they already are. Takes fans further away from their roots and their history and their traditions. And I think that's the thing, regardless of your personal benefit for your club. I think that's the thing we should be focusing on.
So, can I just say, there's a couple of friends of mine in the chat here. One of them, Jando1, is a really good friend of mine. He says there, so what happens to the team that's remaining, the teams that remain in the Premier League? Surely you create your own big six in a Premier League full of non-34-year-olds on 300k a week.
So that it would be relative. You would just almost create a new top six, a new big six. Yeah. Okay, that's a absolute fair.
And Newcastle might actually make it, Jamie, and Leicester.
We still would.
We definitely will.
We wouldn't.
I mean, there's not much Hopkins isn't willing to do to get rid of Mike Ashley. I think we've established that it's kind of well covered ground. But I think I'd be interested to know what people think. As fans, we all have our clubs. We all are massive fans. I think the real danger here is that fans get taken further away from decision making. I know at Liverpool, Spirit Shankly came out straight away and said, not good, not a good move. It's venture capitalism at its finest. But this is on the Premier League's toes as well. The Premier League have fannied around throughout the whole of the lockdown process. They're constantly looking for ways to kind of play clubs off against each other. And I think in the end, the Big Six have said, you are not the power vessel that you were in the 90s when the era of Sky Sports really came to the fore. And they just want to make money. They're businesses now. However they mask it up, they're businesses. And that's the real tragedy of all this.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so on that note then, let's have a little bit of a look. Just been scrolling through as we went on. We've got some of the previous results. Hopkins, Mark, last week had a little bit of a meh in your place.
There's a couple of new people join the chat tonight. Can we just sort of go over the concept for them? I admit a couple of them are close friends of mine, so if you could just go over the concept.
Yeah. So the concept is we took this idea of the European Super League or Premier League that you've just been hearing us rattle on about for the last 10 minutes, and we decided what better place than to see if this would be entertaining, good, successful than in the greatest football management game of all time, CM1 1 or 2. You can see that in Dutch Premier Division, because of their work permit rules, we've got all of the big clubs from Europe loaded in. And we have our very own ultimate team made up of absolute cult heroes from CM1 or 2. Although I think that's being questioned, Smuts.
Hang on. Before we go into that team choice, I promised Jando 1 that if he came onto the stream, I'd show him that he's a Man United fan. I'd show him the Man United team, and we'd basically call them out for being absolute bastards.
They are absolute bastards, and it's easy to forget how much of a bastard they were, how ridiculously spawny they were, but actually they were just brilliant.
And also, like, this is the year. I mean, we played. When you start the original database, we play Man United in the Charity Shield, as it was then at the start. You won't see it on this, but we played them in the Charity Shield because they'd smashed the league. We'd Ruud van Nistelrooy there. We'd run the treble. Is this not our treble winning season? Because we play in the Super League as well, and the Super Cup, don't we, as well?
Yeah.
Against Bayern. So we've obviously gone away and won the League Cup, FA Cup, UEFA Cup, we win the Super Cup, and I think we win the Charity Shield as well. But Man United absolutely tore apart the league, didn't they, the year before?
And just a ridiculously good side. You know, it's easy to say it looking back, but I was really bitter when I was younger. You know, bastards, all this sort of stuff. But you just look through there. Smuts, anybody in particular that you know, for all the Man United, anybody in there that you just thought unbelievable player, ridiculously good?
I mean, there's most of them, to be fair. That first 11 is ludicrous. I mean, it maybe a bit light at centre back, but other than that, I mean, the problem from a champ manager point of view is there's nothing really outside of that first 11. Andy Cole, Wes Brown gets fantastic, but you're struggling outside of there, really. In terms of their subs. So you do have to go out and buy if you are Man United on Champ Manager.
But don't they start with like 50 million?
Exactly. Yeah. Which is the
so
problem.
you
buy Vieri, you buy West, exactly, and away you go. Yeah.
And that midfield four, ridiculous.
Veron didn't really do it in real life, did he, for Man United? But he was a special player. I think he's single-handed. He's the best player live I think I've ever seen. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, his performance.
Best player you've ever seen live?
Maradona.
Yes,
played in a testimonial for Keith Weller in a midfield three of Danny Baker, Chris Evans from The Big Breakfast, and Maradona. And then Gaza came on as a sub.
Not bad.
Woulda? I know what you're going to say.
What was the question, mate? I was typing. There's Purdy's just logged in, one of my other friends. So what was the question?
Best player you've seen live?
I think I said on episode 1, I've been really blessed to see loads. You know, we've always had tickets to Anfield in big European nights. I'm not going to say best player I've seen live, but the best performance I've ever seen live, which is a completely different question, I know, but fuck it, is Rivaldo. Rivaldo came to Anfield and absolutely smashed us. But it was that Olympiacos game.
Yeah,
I think
he's brilliant.
He was head and shoulders above every player on the pitch.
Did he score the free kick the following year to knock us out in the group stage?
I think was that right? Because I think that's the performance I'm talking about. Right. Because he went down injured. Yeah. This is what happened, right? I was sitting on the cop. He went down injured. He goes off, and at that time, it was around a time where they started saying, "Listen, if you're going off, you need to be let back on the pitch to the ref, which is going into 101 at some point, by the way. When you need to go off the pitch if you're having treatment, and then you get welcomed back on once play resumes." He was going off, and it was around that time when that was introduced, and then he just ran on, and it was like, "Hang on a second, what are you doing?" Obviously, Europe hadn't clicked on that was a rule. In the Premier League, it was. We were all going, "Why is he running back on? He needs to stay off until a free kick's taken."
Yeah.
And then he went and put it in I think, was it Scott Carson in nets that night?
Yeah, it was a belt of a free kick. Evening, Greavesy, how you doing, mate? Evening, Steve. Thanks for dropping by. Let's have a little bit of a look at how we're looking at the moment, gents. So we've got this head-to-head league, Smuts. The
No,
idea is
not
really,
having this.
the
Not having this
idea is
shit.
really, really simple. Hopkins
Not
takes
having this shit.
control and fucks up and loses. Woodard
No.
takes control and does better than Hopkins. And
I'm
I
up-
take control and do better than Hopkins.
I'm
Look at
having
the
a
league
good-
table there.
I'm having a Jurgen Klopp meltdown here. No chance. I'm not having someone playing for me. It's ridiculous.
So
Let's not get into why. you
let's
have
just
to
go through.
dive off.
Let's just go through it, a little bit of a round of where we're at, right? So I'm going to go through my results, right?
This
Having
is
not, I remain unbeaten. All that red that you can see is people losing games. Duggan, by the way, somehow manages to have a game in hand. Must have played a cup game or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Steve. Nice to have you on, mate.
Steve, cheers for dropping by. Thanks, mate.
So I've won. Well, no, I actually drew, but you would probably agree that Roma is the most difficult fixture of all of them.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm unbeaten with a draw against Roma. And people are disrespecting me on Twitter saying that, shouldn't be at the wheel and all that.
Coming a little bit of a Jose Mourinho now. Respect. Would you just want to give us the rundown of the league? Played, won, drawn, lost?
No, not having it.
I mean, I can barely see it on the screen, and I imagine that other people can't either.
No,
So
they
it's
can't. You'll be able to,
Hopkins opening game lost away at Madrid, lost by a goal. We then go. I then lead the lads at home to Juventus, and it's a 4-1 win. Puts me 3 up on goal difference, just so you see. Duggan goes and scrapes a 4-4 draw away to PSG, who are the Super League, the Super Premier League's whipping boys, can I just say. Hopkins manages he's playing Ajax at home. He should win that 4-2.
10 men after 10 minutes.
10 men, yeah, 10 men pretty early on.
What we did?
Yeah.
All right.
Saeed, I think, got set out, didn't he?
Yeah, Saeed, Super Saeed.
PSV game was postponed due to a cup clash that obviously Duggan took over, hence why you've got a game in hand. I've then gone to Roma. Well, I've hosted Roma and got us a solid 1-1 draw, to be honest. That's solid, that. Then Inter Milan away was postponed. I then pick it up again, so I'm playing back-to-back games here. You put me right under pressure, but I manage a home win, 3-2 against Leeds. Hopkins gets beat Liverpool away. Tough game, that, mate. Tough game. Emil Eski, tough game. And then, sorry?
Eski.
I will not have any words said against Bruno. All right, Leicester City legend.
Agreed.
Played for the same youth team that I did.
Wow.
And you know how we both turned out. He was a legend. So I was.
I wasn't going to say out in case it was a really sad story, but. And then, so Duggan goes then to, you then go to Chelsea at home. Is that a 3-0 win? Okay, we'll have that. And then Wood just steps up again. Barcelona at home. Another win. Hopkins gets beat again.
Wait, yeah.
Anything to say?
Who got beat?
You got beat, mate. Lazio at home.
No.
Lazio was me. Lazio was me.
Listen, Mark's in the chat. If you want to take it up with Mark.
I don't want to take Mark lost. Hopkins didn't. That's simple. Simple fact.
Whilst he's spitting his dummy out, Smuts, I understand you might have a couple of comments to make about this little ultimate team, and you might want to give them some digs. Go for it.
I mean, the team itself, fair enough, but your database versions of these players are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
For the most part, in fairness. Like when Lee Young Pyo is one of your better players. You're having you're struggling. You're like, your Tony Madeira's shit. Most of your team is shit.
So in terms of preferred databases, then Smuts, what do you play?
Not the database. It's as in not 0.68 or 0.60.
Yeah.
I mean the actual version. So obviously every different game you save and load up is different.
Yeah. Okay.
The versions you've got of these players are.
Yeah, we've been a little bit unlucky with some of them potential converting into realistic kind of stats and stuff. Anybody in there, Smuts, that you really like and you're a go-to signing?
Well, I mean, obviously Taribo West is the obvious, but I don't really play at a level high enough usually to ever get him.
Right.
And I mean, someone had a pop at me last week about Taribo West being a defender left centre. He's not. He's not a left-sided centre back. He's right-footed. that is one of the most infuriating things in my entire life. Is why are you a defender left centre? You can't play left centre back.
Hey, Smuds,
Stop it.
what do you mean? Mo Salah's left-footed and plays on the right wing.
Yeah, I know, but in this game, you need a left-footed centre back.
Right.
You have to. The left centre back of the two has to be left-footed.
Yeah, but you're not seeing the centre half cut inside and trying to bang with him from 30 yards, would you?
And that's also
Hey,
a good
listen,
point.
he put one in for us on the Super League last night. Honestly,
Hey.
he didn't he?
Hey.
Did, wasn't he? Jesus. that's
Nicholas
not-
Pepe's the left-hand side, the player who plays on the right, and look how that turned out.
I don't think I've ever noticed that before about Cerebral West. Would I? Have you?
I'm not really. I think, to be honest, I don't want to do smuts. Like, I don't want to put him down, but I think that's more like a bit of a superstition. I think playing
No,
left-footed
that
players
is-
on the
that
left
is
side. I don't think
pure-
the game's really asked.
Yeah.
I think the chat will back me up here. You have to have a left-footed centre back on the left side of defence. It will make 100% different, guaranteed.
That's why we're losing with Tariba West on the left side centre half for the Dragons.
That's not why we're losing, mate. There's a whole host of reasons why we're losing. Your insistence to play two up top with is definitely one of the reasons.
Yes.
Nedved not turning up is another reason. Your loyalty to Constantinu is another reason. But let's not go there. But what a thriller last night, by the way, lads. Fifey, well done, mate. Totally deserved.
So, Steve, can I just say something, right? Because Steve's jumped on here, right, saying Nicholas Pepe is stealing a living. And he must have just missed what I was saying. I was saying, Steve, Nicholas Pepe, in terms of players and fees paid for players, you know, we've got a Newcastle fan on here who says Joel Linton, and he's also taken it. He doesn't really believe it, but he's just said Naby Keita. But in terms of fees paid for players and the output that player has, Nicholas Pepe, what was he, 76 million? Come on.
Sign-ons.
Come on. 76 million for that. What's he done?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think Arsenal
Still £4 million cheaper than Harry Maguire. I'll tell you what he's done, because he got arrested for it.
So then, Hopkins, I think we chuck you in at the deep end tonight. You were a little bit disadvantaged last week, so you've got.
I need 2 games. I got to catch up. I'm not having. I'm throwing a Jurgen Klopp wobbler here. I'm not taking that defeat.
There he is. We've got plenty of time to get onto Jurgen Klopp in a sec. But you'll kick off with Milan, who are a position above us in 6th. So it's a pretty big game. Pretty big game for us, mate. So let's get stuck in. Formation-wise, what you doing?
Well, we need to go to the game first. It's 2 weeks away. I might have injuries, so I need to know what I'm looking at.
Okay, mate.
2 weeks away. Well, do you know what? This is the joy of Champ, man. When you only load one league, you're like 3 clicks away and you're into the fixture. They are.
Yeah. Injuries, though, innit? Injuries.
Yeah. And I hope they're all injured for you, but come back for my game as well.
There's a shout in there for Pogba being a waste. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
international football, Jurgen Klopp.
Listen. The difference is, I don't know. There's something with Pogba, isn't there? There's something that you think. I've seen Pogba, right? I watched the game once, and I seen him do this mad sort of trap and flick, and thought, "Oh my God, what a player! How's he managed to do that there?" And then there's something about him that isn't quite like it's just. Same with Mario Balotelli when we had him. I know it's a completely different beast, but you look at him and every now and again he do something magic and you go, oh my God, if you could just do that for 90 minutes, it'd be sound. And if you just got the other bits around you where you were tracking back and you were covering spaces and half spaces and you were making penetrating runs and you were linking in with the wide players and all that kind of stuff, and you weren't, 90% of the time trying to make that killer pass, then you just think Pogba's not really for me.
I think there's a danger of oversimplifying it here, but when I look at Pogba, I see a player that does not give a fuck. He does not care about Man United. You compare his performances in a red shirt compared to his performances in a France shirt, and they are 2 different players. Smuts, James Maddison is quite often banded around as a name that United are looking at as a potential solution to their lack of a quality AMC, really.
Yep.
Are you going to keep him? He's just recently signed a new contract. Is that right?
He loves it. He loves it here. To be fair, he is one of those players who can be infuriating.
Mm.
And he does sometimes just need a slap on the back of the head and said, he's similar in that mould to Grealish. If Grealish stayed on his feet, like Sterling has had to learn how to do,
Yeah.
they could be at Sterling's level. Both of them.
Good shout. I like that. Hopkins,
Let's-
Ladson, top dog.
I do think he's quality, but I don't think he does it consistently enough. I think over the part, I know he's had a lot of injuries over the last kind of 6 to 12 months, but I don't think in the last 12 months he's really kind of kicked on. I think people like Grealish, Mason Mount, they've all kind of pushed ahead of him, and I think I know it.
Mount is a terrible shout.
No, it's not.
a bad shout.
No.
Listen. There's my opinion on these players, and I know I keep butting in, and you're probably sick of hearing my voice, but my opinion on all these players is we got very, very promising players, but they're not in the top level. So you look at Maddison, Grealish, Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, whatever you call them. They're not the best in the positions in the world. So
Hudson-Odoi, I'd add to that list as well.
Oh,
players like that, even Jordan Henderson, if I'm being self-critical, he's
Harvey
not the
Barnes.
best midfield in the world. He's functional. You know what I mean? He's a functional midfield player. He'll cover your grounds. He'll make some tackles and he'll break up play, but probably not as effective as Kante, for example.
Here's one for you. Hopkins.
Or Ndidi.
Or Ndidi, yeah.
Or
Ndidi's
Ndidi,
class,
yeah.
by the way.
I really rate Ndidi, actually.
Hopkins, Grealish,
yeah.
Maddison, or Pogba. Who we having? You can only have one. Short answer.
Grealish.
Same question, Smuts.
Grealish.
Would I?
Even seeing Madison
I missed
wicked.
the question, mate. I was reading Steve's comment about
Pogba.
Lingard's naked dancing with
Yeah.
Pogba, yeah.
Maddison, Grealish,
What
or
did you say?
Pogba.
Grealish for me.
Yeah, I think it's a full house for Grealish. I think he's quality.
Yeah.
Right, let's get stuck into
Grealish,
this then,
yeah.
guys. We've had 35 minutes of good chat there about how the game's gone, sounding like pissed old men on a park bench. Let's have a go then. Hopkins, formation, what you doing?
Let's play our Dragons formation.
What's that? You pick it every week, mate.
Oh,
Don't give
piss
anyone
off.
else a chance.
Do you know you? I've never known anyone duck out so much in all my entire life.
Listen.
Two strikers?
Fifey's on tonight watching, right? And I'll just say, I did pick the team. That was an absolute gem of a game, that.
Yeah.
And fair fucked. Because if you play anyone in the Super League, right, you've got Oliver Kahn in goal, and you score 3 at home, you expect to win that.
Mm.
Yeah. We scored 3 in our last 2 games and haven't won any.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think
You're doing the final submission of the tactics, Jamie. So
Unreal.
I think Fifey's right amongst it this year, and I know you'll probably think
Yes.
he's putting him under pressure, but I think he's right amongst it.
Oh.
If there's anybody
Yeah.
that can back to win it, I would be saying go and do it, Fifey lad, with your tie. Go ahead. Hopkins, what we doing? Who we have?
We're gonna go Chiatis in goals. No, Costanzo. I'm gonna go for.
Your 2 centre halves.
I'm gonna go. Said on the left and West on the right.
Yeah.
Just for you.
You 4 across.
and if Steve's
left,
still
you
watching, he's coming on soon to talk about data builds and stuff. So we're gonna get him on.
Yeah, that's Steve Hall, guys. Check him out on Facebook. He's directly involved with a lot of the builds. I think he's the scout for England and Scotland. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're definitely going to get him on to talk about the actual kind of mechanics of the data builds.
He's probably bored of your crack and gone, mate. So
Right, when you've been chewing.
Well,
grass for the last
I'm not a
20
big enough
minutes.
draw for you fuckers.
So, Hopkins, who are you having across your 4?
Malevsky left, Duff right.
Yeah.
Ndai and Scally.
Scally, what do you think of the Scally, Smuts?
Apologies, professional there. I've got a mouthful of pizza.
What you
What
rocking
pizza?
there, mate? What pizza
British,
you rocking?
British shit.
What pizza?
The cheapest pepperoni bag of shit that I've ever had. But
Was that your pizza or Scally?
both.
Are you having Mark Kerr in there?
Yes.
Been a
Kerr,
bit of a
Nicky.
standout for us, I think. Dropped off the last couple of games, but he's definitely been pick of the bunch.
He
EMC.
scored the winner Barcelona at home, didn't he?
Nicky Ferenko. Vasiliuk.
Yeah.
You Smuts, you criticise us for a
Sigalko.
lack of strikers.
Sigalko.
Yeah, again, it's not necessarily the strikers you picked; it's the versions of the strikers you've got.
Hmm.
Like I say, your Toe Madeira is fucking shit.
Have you had a
The
look through
back
the
is
safe
very
line?
good, very good. Yes, I have. Yeah. Your Cherno
Probably.
Samba's will be good eventually, but what's the point of having him in a? I don't know how many seasons
Who
you're
are
going
you
to do at
replacing
this,
with then, Smuts, instead of just throwing out criticisms? Who are you going to put in instead? Because we built this. Well, I haven't.
David Collins. David Collins.
Davy Collins is shit as well. He's fine. A lot of these players you've picked because you've played at lower levels like I do normally,
Yeah.
and are very good there.
Mm.
Neil Scally is not going to play in. I don't know why he's playing in this game. Why he's
Milan
in,
at home as well.
What are you doing?
Have a look at the
that's-
Milan team.
He'll take Kaka out, don't he?
Look at them. Look at them
Kaka's not
players,
playing.
Gattuso,
He'll take out Rui Costa.
Maldini.
Come on, let's kick it off. Let's take out the
Predictions,
cleaners.
what's what you saying?
Pain,
Adi Akinbayi.
Here we go.
mate. Adi Akibai, £5 million, not well spent.
Good stuff for Hopkins. I think we've scored early in all the Super League games as well, so I don't think that's particularly a great omen.
I would love Milan to do one here. I'd love it to go 3-0 at half time. Oh yeah, Pirlo. Click Pirlo for us. Because he's not great at the start of the game, is he?
He's terrible in this version. 0.68.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, same with Ballack as well. Ballack's like that.
Yeah.
Not great Hopkins.
What shit did he fill the bench up with?
Yeah, you got Kaka.
Yeah.
Steve's
Like a load of Kaka.
Steve's right. Like you say, Kaka's crap. You picked him. You drafted him in.
Vasiliuk off for Archie back. Where's Tom Madeira? I told you to put Tom Madeira on the bench.
Oh, listen, don't even go there. When you say to Duggan, pick me bench, he just picks a shite.
Fuck, now we got Dean Keatson now.
Yeah, and he didn't pick Mark Kerr on the bench the other night, so we'll leave that one.
Oh yeah,
Hopkins
yeah.
Milan
You never.
do you here? I think.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
Rui Costa with an
Oh.
absolute belter. 4 on.
So all of this
Listen,
stuff
time.
where Hopkins saying,
Hopkins.
"Oh,
Wow.
Hopkins saying, oh, it's not me playing, it's not me playing. Oh, look at this." And he's come on, he's gone, "Oh, I'll claw this one back." And he's 3-1 down after 73 minutes.
It wasn't me playing. I was honest.
This is a bad start. This will be 3 on the bounce in the league that we've lost
Yeah, this is
and struggling. A couple of games in hand though.
Do you know what you need,
Hopkins.
guys? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Jesus. Oh,
Costanzo. Fucking hell. Tariba West can't play on the right hand side, Smats.
Well, I think it would be more to do with the players that are around him. I had a quick look through the save, and Taribo West is pretty much the only player in that team that got in my first 11.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Wait,
that's
I tell
the
you
challenge
what,
here, I think.
Smuts.
That is the
I
challenge.
tell you what, Smuts. Me and thee are well. Whenever my fixture is, we're picking a squad together. So you're going to talk me through your tactics. You're going to talk me through what you would normally play, what you have been playing. Is it my game next, or is it you, Duggan?
Me next.
Yeah, look, Alessandro's getting praised.
I don't think he's kicked the ball.
Is it me? Is it?
And me next. Game in hand.
So we're going to pick a squad. Talk us through your tactics. You know, your favourite tactic, whatever. You pick the squad, and
I've
then
only got one. That shouldn't take long.
you've got one tactic.
Yeah. It's been called Hereford Race since the first race on Twitter, and has not changed at all since.
How long ago was that?
When did the apocalypse start? That week.
So talk to us. What's obviously Mark's on tonight, or has been on tonight. I don't know whether he's still around. We've got Steve on from the forum. You were some sort of mod back in the day. I'm not saying that you drove a scooter and listened to Quadrophenia
Yes,
over
mate,
and
yeah,
over.
me and Paul Weller, we're
Yeah,
bros. Yeah.
But you were a mod of the forum.
I think I still am. Yeah, I think I found out earlier I still am. Yeah, I haven't been on in a while, to be fair. So I'll be honest, I've probably been sacked. Yeah, no, I was a part of the challenges team. So if you go on to the forum, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of challenges on there that everyone can play. So each specific game that came out, update that came out, there was a different challenge. Like the year that the by far the greatest team the world has ever seen won the Premier League. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, we did win that. You're right. Yeah, we did.
Listen, if this was happening pre the apocalypse, and you could have rubbed it in my face, but we just won 1-7 and lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah, I mean it's got an asterisk against it, but yeah, fair enough. You did win it.
Has it really?
Sort of. Did you finish it in May, or was it in like 2021?
I've got a little bit of a gripe about this. I mean, we'll probably come on to talk about Klopp and the injury stuff. And
Oh God, my heart bleeds for you.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Who had 34 minutes on Klopp bingo?
Klopp bingo.
As in, how long it'd take for these excuses to come out from one
Yeah.
side and then from Hopkins as well.
Listen, for those of you watching on Twitch, Hopkins has been asterisked there, and it actually says "fuck off, Wooder." So, for those of you who couldn't see that, I'm just going to clarify that. Now, listen, with Klopp, I think for me.
Oh, naughty boy, Nicky.
Come on. What
He wasn't going to be playing the next game anyway. Don't worry.
Just remember, I won with 10 men. My only win, but
What are we doing? Yeah, let's have a little look.
For me, the stuff with Jurgen Klopp while he's doing that, the stuff with Jurgen Klopp, yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable to watch in terms of he didn't have all of his facts there, and
don't say it's uncomfortable. Let's switch around, and I was Pep Guardiola. Fuck, you'd be having a field day. You'd be having a field day. You know it.
It absolutely reeked of Rafa Benitez and his facts. And it absolutely reeked of Pep Guardiola going twice at Anfield when he got 2 handball decisions turned against him. It absolutely reeked of that. But then things happened like so far into the season where you think, what? Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
One at the back.
What is going on here? This is a mare. We've had a mare here, boys.
The difference between them, what happened there, and what's happening now is we're only sort of 10 games in. Like, why are you having a meltdown? Like,
Lads, we've got the 8th place here. We know when we said about the editor throwing up some absolute wild shouts.
Have you made a sub though as well?
I've made all 3. 8 men is ridiculous. Oh, no. Wow.
Guys dropping points all over, honestly.
The wheels are coming off. 8 men? What?
Duggan.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure you've only made 2 subs.
No, I've made 3, mate.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No.
You made 2.
Made 2?
You made 2.
You fucking absolute moron.
Played with 8 anyway. I was going for the moral victory.
You absolute moron. He's made 2 subs. He's got to...
I've got a man there.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
And I've come on here saying how professional this outfit looks as well.
Let's
I'll take it all back.
let's forget about that. We are struggling here, boys.
Go on, get a Jurgen Klopp excuses then.
I don't have to, mate. I'm not sitting bottom of the fucking league, am I? Right then. So, Smuts, you've got to save our season here, mate. We've lost 4 on the bounce now. 2
And
games in
about
hand.
15 players in that last game. Yeah, luckily, none of the players you were going to be playing were anywhere near my first team.
Jesus wept. Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Rangers, that's embarrassing, Duggan. You've lost to Rangers. You've drew with in PSG. Wow.
Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. Rangers were the side that we tipped as the Whitton boys, and I think they will. So I think I'm probably the only team that they'll beat, or they've got another result. So there we go. That's great.
Beat me again, no one.
And we're struggling here in terms of players, I think. Right then, so we've got Inter Milan. Smuts, over to you.
Yeah. Well, first things first. Pop onto the tactics. And I'm almost Mike Bassett-esque in my choice of tactics. You won't need to dick about with any of this nonsense here. Just go to the default tactics. Default tactics, 4-1-3-2, right at the bottom there.
It's going down against my name.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, I quite like it, to be honest. I think, who have we got? Inter away. Okay.
In the Super League, in the first kind of 2 seasons, this one was the massive formation that a lot of people used. I think Rapid Apollo won it with this formation. Hordestan came second with this formation. This was a massive formation in the first couple of Super Leagues.
So why are you twatting about with any other formations?
Because we got Wooder, and he just, I don't fucking know.
What,
Fair
you're blaming me?
Then.
You're blaming me, who,
Right,
by
look,
the way,
this
is still the only undefeated
Isaacson
manager
and
in the game's gone. And is about to do a number here with this tactic away to Inter.
This
Sorry,
is a good,
so I'll let
this
you
is a
pick
good
me.
tactic.
Yeah. You're looking at this. This is the first season still, right? You've not.
Isaacson,
Isaacson is your best goalkeeper.
what are you talking about?
Chiotis is not going to be any good for at least 2 seasons.
What are you
Straight out the gate, Isaacson's your best
Can you
goalkeeper.
do a player compare? Can you do a player compare right now? The top left of his name.
Wooder, this is champ. We got Champman royalty on. Listen to the man. Yeah, more Reds.
Unless you want him sprinting down the line.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's fun.
I'm telling you.
Clearly just stays in nets with a spliff in his mouth, just having a great time.
And also, Choitis has conceded 10 and Isaacson none, probably because he doesn't get a game.
There you go.
Right, and Smuts defenders.
Defenders. Teddy Lukic is injured. That's annoying. He's going to be starting at right back. In fairness. Right, we'll start with left back then. Who did I pick?
Paul
at left
Robbo,
back? No, Okoronkwo.
left back.
Yes. Either footed at left back. As I said, right back was going to be Teddy Lukic. We're going to have to go with
Chrissy Hope.
Yeah, Steve. Well, yeah, Hope or Reed, either or.
Reed. Go Reed.
Then my 2 centre backs were Taribo West as right-sided centre back, and it was going to be Ndai. He's not been in it. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, go on then. Yeah, Ndai.
I like Ndai at centre off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it done. Defensive midfielder, in fairness, was going to be Hakan Mild, but you've broken him. So I'll go, and then Saeed was going to be the backup centre back.
Mievski.
So
Good.
it's going to have to be, yeah, Mievski.
Dean Keats.
Nowhere near the team. You midfielders, you got to go Kallstrom on the left. Kennedy on the left, Kallstrom through the middle, and then Kaká as your right-sided one.
Kaká.
Yeah, and just go with it. It's all good.
Yeah.
First season.
Keeping it on Wooder.
Yeah, back as your left-sided centre forward.
Kaka's sitting in the bogs, mate. Kaka's in the reserves.
Just you watch. All right. Back as your left-sided centre forward, and Vasiliuk as your right-sided.
You're not going Maxim?
No. Mac, I told you, your version of Maxim Sigalko is fucking dog shit on this.
And I think, Smuts, you've definitely done a little bit of research in terms of the save and the data and that sort of stuff as well. So,
Or we like
yeah,
Champman royalty.
we'll have a
Yeah,
look.
this is the homework I will do. Yeah, the rest of it I'll be fucking off down the bike sheds usually.
Right, let's wait. We're just seeing some predictions come in. Fifey's going for a away win. Take on
Fifey knows I'm at the wheel ish.
Your wheels falling off.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What you saying? Need a win.
Yeah.
Do you know what's mad, right? Do you know
2-1.
what's mad about this? I would never ever pick this lineup
Yeah.
ever and this formation. So
Draw.
and
Score draw.
Smuts has come on with such conviction that I
Yeah.
think, do you know what? This is gonna be an enlightening for me.
It's and I
Or
think
or
this
it
is-
could fall on my face.
and
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, yeah.
This is the thing about this game, isn't it? You know, we're all like, we're all grown men now, and we've played this for so many years. But I know
Speak
that
for
Wood, I would
yourself.
never play wing backs. Never in a million years.
Never,
Would he ever
ever.
play wing backs.
What I'm looking forward to is I think Kaka will score.
I think Kennedy will
4
score.
assists.
I'm going for a Kennedy goal.
I think it won't be as bad as the last game. What do you think about
It can't be
I
anyone.
think we might finish with at
Oh.
least 9 players on the pitch this game.
that? And make 3 subs.
Lee Young Pyo. He can
Yes,
play
Steve's
defensive
exactly right. There's a
midfielder,
little
can't
bit of pressure here. Can't be losing.
There
5
is
on the
pressure.
bounce.
It's a strong
There
start.
we go.
Oh.
Arch-
Oh.
my God,
he?
Castro.
This is going against my unbeaten run, by the way, Smuts. So
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
getting
Oh.
dominated, mate. Like Fat Ronaldo.
Look at Wooder. Look at Wooder.
Getting absolutely dominated. And
Why
I
you
check
like
these
it?
half-time stats and just be, ugh.
Dry your eyes, mate.
Oh, it's, yeah, I'm underwhelmed there, Smuts.
They get absolutely dominated.
Wooder is raging.
Look at them. Look at that performance of your goalkeeper. And he's not even in your first team. I told you.
He's a
your best
goalkeeper,
keeper.
mate. I don't want him.
Yeah,
I want
fair
the
enough.
attacking midfield to be strikers to be playing
Okay.
well.
Smats, they couldn't pick their nose, man.
This is the ultimate team, and you're happy. It sounds like you're happy with the 1-0.
I'm not. I mean, defensive midfield is the most important position. And
Right, fuck
you-
this.
you-
I need to take over here,
No,
Smuts.
no.
You crack on.
Smuts, it's on you, mate. Come on.
No,
Wooder,
you're fine. Why? Yeah, carry on. All good.
No,
no,
whatever.
carry on.
Whatever.
Carry on.
The last. I love this formation. It's great.
Carry on.
I'm just going to continue until someone picks the dummy up and puts it back in their mouth and cracks on. So,
Put a subby on. Put a subby on.
Oh, early yet.
Vieri's just hit the bar there before you've just gone into here. Vieri just. Cal Strong is doing absolutely nothing. Mark Kerr needs to go on right now.
Oh, he's got him.
It's getting a little bit aggy here, lads. What do you reckon?
Just a little bit. Flipping heck.
You can see that pet lip all the way from Wales.
I haven't seen any white this half at all.
We're playing counter-attacking football. Don't
And we
worry.
thought Jurgen Klopp lost the plot. Listen to Wooder
They
now.
counter-attacking me. You haven't even gone into the team instructions to tell them.
Yeah, in fairness, that is normally on my team
We get over
instructions.
here with a point. We've done ridiculous.
16 shots.
Oh,
What's that? Last time you checked, it was 16 shots. I'm
What a-
fuming here.
Wooder out.
Mourinho, Tato is exactly right. This is absolutely stinking.
Wooder out.
Oh, wow.
Wooder out.
We are struggling, boys.
Honestly, one shot on target. Smuts, next game, I'm going to show you how it's done. I get 2 games of stream, right? I get 2 games of stream, and you just ruin that for me.
You're welcome. That tenner that you lads promised me for fucking up his game, I'll send you my PayPal
Already
later.
just already done it, mate. PayPal'd it and sent you a nude as well to go with it.
That was worth it for
oh,
him
and look at
throwing
the game
that
he's got.
secret there.
Look at the game he's got to redeem himself.
Who?
Wow.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? What?
You're
Not
up
me.
for Man United.
So,
Go on.
hang on a second. So I get Inter Milan away and Man United at home.
All right, I'll take United. I'll take
No,
United.
fuck it.
Stop.
No, I'm going to take United. I'm going to show you how it's done. And now I'm going to show you how it's done. Right,
No,
3
no,
at
I'm
the
going
back.
to stay with this formation. Whoa, what was my game? Whoa,
My
whoa.
game, Hopkins.
Lads,
Hopkins, step
no,
aside, mate.
no.
Step aside.
Right.
In fact,
go back
do you know what it is, Hopkins, right?
Wait,
Duggan's
go
got a game in hand.
Go away. Was?
Duggan,
Oh,
he's got a game in hand.
it's my game, man.
Let's
we went
see.
off.
Let's give the
Went
fans. Let's give the fans what they want.
We
so
went
who's-
Hop-
who's
we went
having this
Hop-
one? Let me-
Hopkins, Duggan Wood. Surely it's Hopkins.
I don't know who Hopkins is, mate. There's a H at the start of your name, so
S
it's
E in it.
Hopkins.
S.E. and Hopkins.
Let's see what people think. Let us know in the chat. Are we going Hopkins or Wooder? Big game this
This is
week.
criminal.
Both with
This is criminal if it's not Hopkins.
Wooder because it's
Wooder must win.
Wooder.
Oh,
Yeah.
4 off, I see.
All right. How are we then, Wooder? Let's go.
Mourinho wants Wooder. Potato Mourinho wants Wooder. Let's go.
Got to give the people what they want.
You know it.
Outrage.
Because he wants to see me lose again. Right, does
Yeah.
he? Right. 3, yeah. 1 up top.
Oh, look at him. Standard bowling formation. Mix it up, for God's sake.
Go into team tactics, team
Desperation.
instructions. Hopkins winds it in, mate. This is my time.
Desperation.
Attack him,
that,
please.
that does explain why my team was not quite as good.
Yeah.
Oh.
In fairness.
Listen,
quite-
you picked
Not
it.
quite as
Look,
good. That's an
I picked the 11.
the best thing you can do is stay quiet for the next half hour, mate. Honestly, the best thing you can do. Tackling, hard pressing, offside
Okay,
trap, yes,
4
please.
months in the wilderness. I come back to this shit. Fucking hell.
Offside trap, okay, let's go. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I
Yeah,
need.
fight-
Okay,
fight
please.
between-
Let's go.
fight
In net, sort by morale. Okay,
I
let's
agree.
go. Yeah, I'll have Isaacson in net.
This is what
I'll
I've got
have-
to put up with.
I'll have choices on. Yeah, let's have
Oh,
available.
You picked Isaacson. All he did was slag him off.
Didn't slag him off, mate. We compared the player. We compared the
Ridiculous.
player, and I said,
Ridiculous.
"Oh yeah, you're right there." So when I'm arguing, saying, "What
You were-
Isaacson?"
You were
I
a
admit,
proper.
I admit that was wrong, didn't I?
You were a proper.
Can't
proper
seem to do.
you are.
Taribo West,
Just a
please.
quick shout out that you don't need Amazon to come and do a fly on the wall documentary. You've got it right here. These two fannies kicking off.
Go back, please, to my team. Stop flicking through. Let's go, Isaac Okoronkwo.
Get on with it.
And we'll have, oh God, we're thin, aren't we? Chris Hope.
I was going to say.
Chris
where's
Hope,
Dean
midfield,
Keats?
please. Filter by midfield. We'll have Mievski. Has he gone off injured? Is he still out? Let's have Endai.
Dean Keats.
Dean Keats.
Paul Robinson.
Let's have
Dean Keats. Dean Keats.
let's have Paul Robinson. Paul Robinson. In the midfield, not care, please. And then let's have a look at our attackers. So across there, I want. Where's D'Alessandro gone?
Tarrant.
Crippled, didn't he?
Shut up, man. Is he? Where's Kallstrom? Right, okay. I want. Click Nicky Franco for us. Okay, I want him through the middle. And I want Kallstrom on the right. And Bakasioglu on the left. Oh, in fact, fuck Bakasioglu off. And let's put Pavel Brozek in, please. And
Top.
it's Sigalko up tops, please. Have you offered him a new contract, by the way? The guy wants a new contract. What's he on? Oh,
Spent auto adjust, mate.
can you ask me? Can you just what? How much is he on? Sigalko. D'Alessandro's available. You tit.
20 quid.
100 quid.
100 quid a
100
week.
bins.
Give him a. No wonder he's finding it hard. He can't even afford the loaf of bread, mate. 100 quid a week.
Tato's saying, have you got a rule where you have to pick the shit players for a laugh? Absolutely, mate. That is part of the crack.
How is Back not your starting striker? He's your only good striker.
Yeah, he's unreal. Archie Back. Once you've had Back, you never go back. He's unreal.
Tell you what, then. Tell you what. Like you're saying that, right? Okay. Can you just go back to midfielders a second? Can you just let your midfielders?
Anytime today, would I?
Can you tell me just if D'Alessandro's available?
He is, mate. Do you want to pick him?
Oh, he is. Yeah. Can you put him on the left of attacking mid, please?
Anytime today.
Well, honestly. Can I have a look at the team from can you put Archie back on the bench? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Man United at home. Honestly, Van Nistelrooy puts one in, I'm gutted.
They got Veron and Roy
I'm
Keane.
backing you for the win here,
Injuries
brother. Backing you for the win here, mate. Get in there. Chrissy Hope.
Chrissy Hope.
Yes. Best ever goal. This is massive. You've only been beaten once all season, I think. Maxime. Oh, what? Wow.
Just keeping quiet. Just keeping
Wowza.
quiet. Just keeping quiet, guys.
He's still wrong my game.
Oh,
Penalty.
It's all about that
Should be
goalkeepers.
red, I think.
Yeah, it should have been a red. Ban for life.
Sigalko,
Just
masterclass.
keeping it,
Struggling to
keeping
adjust.
it out of the dry, guys. Come on, come on.
Come on, Chadwick. Come on, Chadwick. Show him what it's all about.
Oh, down
Scholes
10.
is gone. Oh, Scholes is gone.
Cards are plenty
Just
in here,
keeping
mate.
it dry, guys. Just keeping it dry. Mourinho, listen, you can put back over Kallstrom if you want. It's up to you. Let's get some of these bookings off. Let's get God, we're killing it. I didn't got a centre half on the bench. What are you doing, Duggan? When you say pick the bench, there's no centre half on the bench at all.
No centre half on the bench.
I'm not playing Stephen Reid as centre half. Are you
He's not playing
joking?
him at centre half. He's on the bench at centre half, isn't he?
Yeah, what I just said
Well,
is
drop and die in
you
then.
haven't got a centre half on the bench. You pick the bench. Right, Kallstrom on for back, please.
Karlstrom on for back.
Yeah. Off. Go on. Let's go.
Massive second half. This huge.
Just keep them quiet, guys.
Get it
Like,
over the line. Definitely going down to 10 at some point, I think.
why would you say things like that? Why are you trying to jinx us? Is that why you're saying
I mean,
things
I
like we're
think we
going
need a
down?
win. We need a win here, desperately.
What do you mean we need a win? Who'd you call on when you need a win? That's probably a bit premature.
What a win.
They didn't have a
So-
run over Roy Keane, did they? You've been
Smuts, can
plenty.
we just stop and just ask Smuts his opinion on the performance and the result?
Fluke.
Look at their team. They got Ronnie Johnson and Solskjaer centre midfield. Behave.
Solskjaer
Gary Neville
obviously
at left
dropped in for
centre-back.
Scholes, hasn't he?
That team is disgusting. No wonder you won. That's an absolute joke. No, that's why you played them, because you saw the team before. You saw Roy Keane, Veron, all these players were out injured, Beckham, and that's why you chose to play Man United. That was a carve up from the start.
I didn't know anything about it, mate.
Yeah.
I was trying to throw it to Duggan. And then you all started winding me up, and I said, "I'll take United." But listen to this, Hopkins. Who are the two worst teams to play in the whole of Champman, in the original database? Who are the worst two?
Catching a bit of
Worst
Steve
team.
Maitches for stopping
Who are
by.
you going to lose
Yeah.
against the most?
PSG and Rangers.
Listen, I've played Roma and Man United, and I am still unbeaten.
Well,
Although
no,
last-
you lost the last game.
You
didn't
lost
you?
the last game.
You lost to Inter.
I didn't lose to Inter.
Oh, someone
Smuts lost to Inter. He wouldn't even let me take over at half time.
That's the shithouse move. That you had Inter with Smuts.
Again, can we rewind to the start of the stream where apparently I lost last week when someone else played?
It's
Oh,
a fair point. It's a fair
oh
point.
it's worse than
He went on.
Worse than Jurgen Klopp.
So
Do we want to address the Jurgen Klopp
yeah,
elephant in the
I
room
think
then, or what?
I think let's. Hopkins, what's your thoughts on the post-match comments from Klopp?
Yeah, it was just shit house, wasn't it? You know, as we've said, you know, it's all about the money now. And at the end of the day, he should be going to his owner and saying, right, you know, they're the ones taking all the money, and not just that. My issue is all he barks on about is this 5 sub issue. Can you tell me how many subs did he use last night?
Listen,
No. Answer the
to be
question.
honest-
Answer the
to be
question.
honest, mate,
You played Ajax last night. How many subs did he make?
I've got no idea, mate.
He made 1 sub and second sub in the 90th minute. He's played 10 Premier League games and he's made and third sub in 8 of those games has come
So-
in 86 minute onwards. So what's all the big deal? Why is this all this?
So he needs to make his 5 subs to justify the 5 subs rule. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, no, I'm trying to say
He
has
needs to make 3 subs every game, even though Duggan just made 2. But you know, he needs to utilize every single one of his substitutions in order to justify the need for 5.
Well, no, but what I'm trying to say is, so on Saturday
Yeah,
night.
Let's ask you a question then. Let's ask you a question.
Yeah.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks for joining us. He's off. Thanks, Joy. Let's ask you a question. You manage a team. How often do you make 3 substitutions on Champman?
Right, well, Champman's irrelevant.
Now, hang on a second. Answer the
Isn't that
question.
the entire point of the stream. How are you saying it's irrelevant?
No,
Answer
but
the question. How many times do you make 3 subs?
I'm not saying I want 5 subs.
5 subs rule. So 5v saying 5 subs rules a joke. I hate it
Yeah,
in the EFL.
Hopkins. So, and Smuts, I'll come to you in a second here. So obviously, you know, I'll absolutely agree. You know, it wasn't Klopp's finest moment. I don't think he did himself any favours. I think a lot of the kind of positive light that people seen him in, I think, you know, people it's an easy stick to beat him with the way he went on. But my question to you is
Solskjaer
this.
said it the week before. Sorry for
Absolutely, and so
interrupting.
did Pep.
Solskjaer said it
So
the week
did Pep.
before.
My question to you is this though: player welfare though, is it not suffering at the moment?
100%.
I'm not saying it's not suffering, but what I'm trying to say is the rule. You know, you bleating on about 5 subs, and you know he needs 5 subs to protect his players, but he's not even using it when it's available in these Champions League games. You know, 1 sub last night and the second sub in the 90th minute.
Here we go then, Hopkins. Right. So.
Yeah. Come on.
Talk about the I'm on to you. So we talk about the player fatigue and we talk about there's a few things in play, right? One is people think that the players have had a break during lockdown and whatever else. They haven't. They've had to maintain peak levels because they didn't know when the football fixtures were going to resume. So they've obviously maintained that level of fitness and haven't had a 2-week holiday because they can't go anywhere anyway. So they haven't had a break all the way through, right? The Champions League finishes middle of August or whatever. The Premier League starts again. I think it's the 18th and 19th of September.
Right.
Usually it starts in August. A month. So there's a month gap there. Yeah, it's going to finish again in May. So they've lost a month worth of fixtures, but they've crammed it all into a season. So
Right.
I think the big point is how many games have Newcastle got this season? 40 at most, because you're going to be out first round of both the cups.
Quarterfinals of the League Cup, have you know? Are you still in there?
No, we're still in Europe, mate.
Well,
We just got beat by the third best Ukrainian team because our players are fucked. We played on Monday and we've just had to play again in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right. Newcastle, granted, it's basically another country on its own, it's fucking miles away from everywhere. But you're not travelling to Ukraine on a Thursday. You're not having to play 3 games in a week like we are. And to be fair, Liverpool are as well. And we've both got a lot of injuries, both Leicester and Liverpool. And it is showing. I'm only in favour of 5 subs for this year because it is an exceptional year. It's completely different. We've got a small squad anyway because I don't know why. We've got billionaire owners. We don't buy anyone. We bought 1 centre-back all season. And our fourth choice centre-back is Wes Morgan, and he's 50.
I like Morgan.
I love Morgan. He's a legend. We've got Christian Fuchs, legend. They are too old to be playing 3 games a week.
I just want to chip in there quickly, Smuts, if you don't mind us talking over you. Fifey's making a couple of points about, Virgil, the injury was the tackle. Gomez was an accident on international duty. I don't have the stats available, but I think there's definitely been more big injuries to big players this year than there ever has been before. Real Madrid at the moment could field a world-beaten 11 with the players that they've got on the physio bench, and I think it's the susceptibility of players to being injured because they're playing so much. There's this talk about the red zone, the red danger zone, where players' fitness is low and therefore more susceptible to injury. And just to link it back to Chapman, we've all been there about whether we want to decide to risk Taribo West when he's on 76% because it's a massive cup final or 92%. We were talking the other day, and the reality of the season and how cramped it is. We've got a Euros, we've got a Champions League, we've got a UEFA League, Europa League. We've got all of the cup competitions in domestic football. We've got more league games than historically the league would be because it's bigger than it was back in the day. And yet we've lost about 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna answer Potato Mourinho's why does big players make a difference, because they play more games in a short space of times. They play in listen.
Yeah,
I understand Fifey's
you
point
go out
about...
and you spend a lot more money as well than these other teams. So I know what you're saying. So surely the squad should be big. And I know you've got injuries, but we'll go back to the point you said the other day.
You're going on about money, right? Listen, Hopkins, you're going on about money. Strip all money away, right? If I ask you, whatever your job is, I don't know what your job is. I do know what your job is, but if you were a project manager, right, and I said to you, I need you to complete this in 6 months, and then all of a sudden I turned around and said, hang on, I'm going to shave off a month, and you're going to have to do it in 5. You're going to be fucked, aren't you?
I'm not on about money, the player. I'm on about you get more money, you buy more players, you buy better players, you have a bigger squad.
You can still only pick 25.
Yeah.
So right, but that's 25. That's 25.
I think I think it's a little bit of a moot point that you can't foresee injuries. You don't buy Virgil van Dijk knowing that he's going to be out for 12 months.
We'll go back again now, right? Liverpool, this left back, I don't know. How much did he cost, this guy from Greece now?
Tsimikas.
Pennies.
Yeah.
Well, 5 mil or something.
So yeah, but he doesn't even play.
Yeah, he's covered for Robertson, mate. Yeah.
When? Cover.
Yeah, he played last week.
Against who?
Who did we play? Brighton, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, started against Brighton, mate.
He didn't. Robertson started.
Oh, he came off the bench then.
Because he was bleeding on.
He defo started a game
So
in the
what
last
you're
2
saying is
weeks.
he shouldn't be playing his best players because that's the only way to stop them from getting injured.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be playing his best players. My argument is Robertson doesn't even come off. So
In fact,
last night,
Tsimikas must have started the Champions League game against Atlanta. Must have done. Yeah, you backing me there, Duggan?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to come to a couple of comments. Fife says, "Give me 50k, 80k, 120k a week. I'll play 3 times a fucking week." Yeah, but you'll have a fucking cardiac, mate, and it'll be a shit. And that's the thing. The football at the moment, I don't think the football is anywhere near what we want it to be. Super Sundays on Super Sundays.
Hang on a second. So Fifey's saying there they prefer to play than train. They haven't got a chance to train, right? So Guardiola's come out and said, listen, the way that their week works is they play on a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever. They have a day's worth of recovery. They don't have a chance to go in and train because they're on tactics for the next game that happens on the Wednesday or the Tuesday. Then they have another day worth of rest. Then they come in and do tactics again. And then there's another game. They don't have a chance to train. So, yes, they prefer to play than train. But it's not healthy to go through intensive recovery.
The problem is those midweek games become the training sessions.
Yeah.
Like us getting beat by the 3rd shittest team in fucking Ukraine.
Yeah.
Our first 11, out of that first 11 today, I would have struggled to put any of them anywhere other than the bench. And granted, that's because we are already through to the next round.
What happened to Soyuncu tonight? How come he went back off injured? Rush back?
No. He went down injured. I think it was
different injury or the same one?
To be honest, I don't know. I was still at work, so I missed that bit. But yeah, I heard he lasted 16 minutes. That was it.
Wow.
Sounds like a bit of a recurrence to me.
So this
potentially, I haven't had a chance
this
to
kind
look
of brings
into
us
it.
quite nicely to our section that you might have seen, Smuts, which is the Game's Gone Room 01. The Game's Gone Room 101. It's the place
Easy for
where,
you to say.
I know, mate. I tell you, it's been a long day. It's the place where football and present can become football and past. And last week, the viewers voted unanimously to put "And It's Live" and that really shit 30-second advert with Ray Winstone's massive face into Room 101. And the thing that we introduced into future football was stopping the clock. The ball goes out, stop the clock. No added time, no players feigning injury, just stop the clock. So this week, Smuts, you are going to have the deciding vote of what goes into Room 101 and becomes football and past, and what
Power
out of us. So Hopkins, you didn't take part in this last week, so I'm going to come to you, please, first.
I don't think he's got one prepped.
You
want to come to him?
Other than Jurgen Klopp, what would you like to put into?
You want to come to me first while he's...
Yeah, go on then, Murrah. Let's start with you.
Have you got one, Hopkins?
No.
Right, well, you've got about 30 seconds to think of one, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in, and it's quite controversial, right? I'm going to throw in fans going back into stadiums.
Wow.
Now, obviously, I've got sort of more insight than most people in terms of the job that I do and, visiting stadiums and things. There's a few things hovering around. People are saying that, Liverpool have got an advantage there because they're going to have 2,000 fans into a 60,000, capacity stadium. They can't sing, they can't clap, they can't, have a drink or whatever. Whereas clubs in Manchester can't. Other clubs, speaking to a company today, they've got racing on in Sandown Race Park over the weekend. And they've got different zones and things they've got to cover and whatever. Just knock it on the head. Knock it on the head until it's sound.
Because
what difference does it make? What difference does it make now? What difference does it make doing it now than in... the damage is already done, whatever. Yeah. The big clubs, the Premier League clubs, which is what we always argue about, don't care about the fans coming in. It's not their main revenue. It's not their main revenue. And I know I'm going to upset lower league fans and whatever else, but they've just had a bailout today. So bringing fans back in.
Barely.
Why should Macclesfield have some in and Stockport don't when they're about 20 miles away? Why bother with getting people back in. Fine if you want to go and listen to the last night at the Pops or whatever in the London Palladium and all that kind of stuff. Fifey's saying it makes a hell of a difference. It probably will to Swindon, right? It probably will to Swindon. The bigger picture is the pandemic that's on, right? And taking your head out of the fact that we love football and we love the things that we do is, it's not a case of 4,000 fans are going back into a stadium which is going to be controlled and whatever. It's other stuff. It's a travelling to it. They're all getting on the same trains. They're all going drinking in the same pubs. If it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, they're all going to be rowdy as out and they're all going to get into the taxis and they're all going to do all that. You just look at pre-lockdown and you look at our Atletico Madrid fixture when we were a full house. Coronavirus had kicked off in Madrid. Big style. Big style. We had Cheltenham on the same weekend. Big style kicked off. And then they came and shipped in to Liverpool, and then all of a sudden Liverpool, it wasn't as bad as Leicester by the way, Smuts, but Liverpool just had rocket in cases and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna put the fans going back into Room 101 controversially.
It is controversial.
Hopkins.
Yeah, it is controversial, but you get me points, don't you? The points I'm making are valid.
I do, but the lower league clubs need more money from the Premier League. It's that simple. I agree with you, but they need more money.
Hopkins, have you got one?
Listen, I hang on before Hopkins moves on. I think you're probably right. So for Swindon, you're probably not going to get 4,000 fans. I don't know what the capacity is of the Swindon Stadium. You're not going to get 4,000 fans going to have it large on the afternoon and go in. The 3 o'clock kickoff is quite sensible and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to have all that sort of stuff happening, and the revenue is going to increase. But for the Premier League clubs, they're into 101, yeah?
Yeah, they're in.
Hopkins, have you got one?
I'm not really sure. It's kind of mine is at the minute in terms of what people class as cheating to gain an advantage for your team. So you see so many players attacking players. Like I'll just put it, and the only example I've got at the minute is obviously, for example, Mo Salah gets touched in a box, goes down, penalty given. Salah gets absolutely hammered by everyone. He's a cheat, etc., etc. I don't get then the difference to what happened then. He's doing that, gaining an advantage for his team. But yet, Leeds play Arsenal the other day. Alioski winds Pepe up. Let's be honest, Pepe doesn't really touch him. Flings himself to the ground, rolling around. Gets Pepe sent off, get an advantage for his team.
Did you see the
Alioski's loaded? He's done a brilliant thing. He's gained an advantage for his team. He's wound him up. He's sucked him in. And he's basically cheated and he's seen as a hero. And then Salah, who's not cheated, but obviously gone down, maybe made a bit more of the contact, not just Salah, other players as well. Mm. And then to get an advantage for his team, but then they seen as cheats. I don't get it.
Did you see the obviously you probably will have done because we probably had a chew on in the group chat. You seen Andy Robertson's tackle on Welbeck?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you make of that?
It's one of these ones where I always hate it. It's like, like penalties, for example, like a player's going down into the box. He's going into the box. He boots the ball. The ball's gone into Rose Ed. It's gone about 2 miles ahead of him. The defender catches him, and it's a penalty, even though he's just booted the ball 2 miles into Rose Ed. Mm. And those are the ones that Welbeck, Robertson does touch him, but the ball's gone 20 yards away from him. He can't get the ball. He can't. It's not as if he's going through on goal, going to get the ball for an advantage. And those ones just wind me up.
And there's something very English about that, isn't it? That, if you speak the Italians, you speak the Spanish, that kind of getting an advantage any way possible is very much part of their sport and culture. You look at Ronaldo with the wink at Rooney, Maradona, the hand of God.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
He speaks very openly about the fact that it's win at all costs. Suarez, exactly the same.
Yeah. But like Swindon, now Fifey's just said they are not cheating, they are conning. So what's the difference? Why is one going
Steve
down in the box?
What's the difference?
Why is Salah loaded as a cheat, but then Alioski's a genius for winding Pepe up and getting him sent off?
Harry Kane against Lallana.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, if
You know, he backed into him and he knocked him on the head and all that, and the
Yeah.
people were saying it was dangerous and all that, but it's clever.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right then.
It's
So
just-
Hopkins is putting in the double standards of kind of cheating and getting an advantage.
listen, before I've got to get something in before we finish. There's one point I just want to get out in terms of the game's gone. I looked through a lot of the news just to find one point which tells me more than anything each week the game has gone, and this is the one I found this week.
Oh, listen.
Listen.
Before
Listen
you
to me.
make that point, you've won because you've just said the game is gone. So you've got that line in.
Yeah, but listen. Juventus played in North Korea a friendly in the summer. Cristiano Ronaldo was on the bench. A group of 162 North Korean supporters of the team they were playing took Juventus to court to sue for emotional distress. They won the case. Juventus had to pay their ticket fee back and over £50,000 in compensation.
Yeah,
Why
because
didn't
the
you put that into
alternative-
101?
The alternative is being.
Why didn't you just mention that? Yeah.
The alternative is being sent to the firing range by Kim Jong Un and having a bullet through your head. So they'll be like, yeah, we'll pay the money back, lads. Don't worry about it. Don't get Novichok on us.
Ronaldo's on the bench in emotional distress. Come on.
My Salva's on the bench and I've got emotional distress. Sort that out. My one is much simpler. I'm putting in, if it gets approved by Smuts, depending on what he thinks tonight, shirt sponsors. Shirt sponsors are awful. They're terrible. Further monetization of something that should be iconic. Shirts look better without any sponsors anyway. Remember a few years back when Liverpool was playing Marseille in the UEFA Cup and had to get Carlsberg taken off because they don't allow alcohol to be advertised. And this is the thing, you know, Newcastle a few years ago with Wonga plastered across the front of the page. One of the highest deprivation indexes in the country in Newcastle, and you're advertising a payday loans company for people that can barely afford to put food on the table. So get shirt sponsors into Room 101. One, it looks shit, and two, morally we shouldn't have it. So Smuts, it's over to you.
I just hope for the
Fantastic.
day that, you know, we've had, this is the week where Debenhams goes, Arcadia goes, it's Top Shop and Bon Marsh and all them. I hope for the day that Ashley goes.
Yeah,
He's tried to get in there with Arcadia.
with JD is, isn't he?
Has he?
Yeah,
50 million loan he offered. Nice guy, isn't he?
insane.
Right, listen,
Insane.
he bought you Ben Arthur and Denver Bar and C players. He had a good team there.
Yeah, and he had frickin' Alan Pardew as manager.
Would you
Smuts-
refer to that, Bruce?
Smuts,
Yes, yeah.
it's,
I will go reverse Paul Merton. Yeah, it's all good. I'm in it. Right. So I'll go one by one. Right. Fans in. You fair enough. Your point stands, but you presented it like shit.
Listen, to be honest, Smuts, if I'm being truthful,
You
I
barely
want fans
believe
in
it
as well.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You barely believe yourself. Yeah. But fair enough. If you'd have said fans in at Premier League games, I might have gone with you. But like I said, you presented it like shit. You're
Put a bit of effort into
that.
it.
I'll take that. But you presented your team for my game like shit as well. So
yeah, it's because they didn't get the run outs they deserved before my game. It was basically a pre-season friendly, but
Yeah.
we'll gloss over that. Who's your starting goalkeeper now, by the way? So first and foremost, that it does stand for me. The main issue I would have with that is obviously the crowd noise fucking button that some bloke in a sound studio presses. Are you gonna get away with that now? That
do you know what?
you're gonna
I
have
think it's-
2,000 fans in?
I can't watch it without the sound.
No, neither can I. You're bang on. It's fucking ridiculous that I can't. But what, are you going to get away with that now? Is that done? Is that over? Are we going to have to red button to get fucking crowd noises in, or am I going to have to listen to 2,000 people socially distanced across a 3-mile radius singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" in hushed tones? Fucking ridiculous.
You can't sing it, can they? You just listen to it play.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, fans should stay away for the time being.
Agreed.
Just write this season off. Start next year in the Premier League. Only in the Premier League. Those stadiums are too fucking big. I would probably extend it to the Championship, to be fair, as well. But Fifey is right. From League One downwards, 100%. If you can get some fans in safely, and that's got to be the big fucking point, safely, have to be in the ground. I have gone to enough lower league games, played in enough lower league games to know the fans are a big part of the revenue for lower league teams.
Yeah.
So, like I said, presented it like shit, effectively.
What it did on the head, I don't think it's, oh yeah, we can get into the ground safely, but how do they all get to the ground and those type of things? That's what not people I don't think are thinking about.
Yeah, I think if you, like, listen, there are conversations about staggering arrival times, and yes, that will work in theory. You know, if you're in stand, west stand or whatever, you arrive at between 8 and 8:30. If you're in the east stand, you arrive between 8:30 and whatever. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff.
Kickoff. That's a fucking long time before ground.
In the morning, mate.
Turn up a week before that.
12 kickoff.
And your thoughts on the kind of double standards for play acting?
Well, I mean, as a Leicester City fan, Jamie Vardy wins more penalties than anybody else in the league. I don't know if that's an official stat, but I mean, he can't take a fucking penalty, but he wins a lot of them.
That little before the keeper gets there is fantastic.
And that pace, and that's exactly it. That pace is absolutely key. So I can't put that in because that's, you know, we wouldn't have won the Premier League with it.
Remember, you're not putting in the play acting, you're putting in the double standards that Hopkins thinks people have got.
Yeah, I completely forgot all about that. Again, shit presentation.
Was it the 10 beers deep you are?
There's a bit of both. Yeah, it's a 50-50 call. Yeah, to be fair. But yeah, no, the double standards is, yeah, to be fair, again, it's a borderline 50-50 point. Yeah, Salah is a good player. He shouldn't be diving anyway. I said the same about James Maddison earlier on, I think. Yeah. If he stayed on his feet, he'd be brilliant. If Grealish stayed on his feet, he'd be world class. You know what I mean? There is a double standard because of where they do it on the pitch and where Jamie Vardy does it on the pitch and where Salah does it on the pitch. In the box, fair game, as far as I'm concerned. Whoever you are, I don't care who you are. If you can win a penalty, win a penalty. If you're not going to score.
And shirt sponsors?
All day. You've won hands down.
Oh, that's 2 out of 2.
Absolutely. It's a walk on. Shirt sponsors are.
Hang on a second though. I know you talk about shirt sponsors, right? But iconic shirts have got iconic sponsors.
In the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, there are a few.
No.
Yeah, I'll give you that. When it was people like fucking Mike Davis's paint store,
Newcastle Brown
is
Newcastle Brown,
exactly local companies by some bloke who has scraped $1,000 to fucking sponsor the team for a year. Great, do that all day. When you've got fucking Paddy Power and all these betting companies, when we've got a huge issue around gambling addiction at the minute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, that is what I would have put in straight away. Specific shirt sponsors. No. Gambling
Nothing's
sponsors.
ever going to be longer, is it?
Exactly. It's those sorts of things. It's just the types of shirt sponsors are what is my main gripe. I think with shirt sponsors. And to be fair, Leicester had a non-shirt sponsor, must have been about 10 years ago now, and it was the best kit we've ever had. We literally had, it was Laurel. It was a charity that sponsored us that year, and effectively we put a little badge on the top for the charity and had it completely blank in the middle. One of the nicest shirts we've ever had.
Yeah.
From a purely aesthetic point of view, yes.
I appreciate that, mate.
In the 90s, yeah, great, because it was random fucking.
There's a few iconic sponsors though. You know, you wouldn't now. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that's in the chat, but you wouldn't now go and look at PSG and go, it's the first football team that had the Air Jordan logo. It wasn't Nike anymore; it was Air Jordan. So, you know, and obviously the stuff that's happening at Netflix, and you think that's quite iconic in a way. I'm gonna go. I'm reverting back to some of the comments in the chat. You know, Steve's talking about Bradford there with 17,500 or 17,000, but they all pay 150 quid for a season ticket. 5 I was massively underestimating the size of Swindon, and I do apologise. He's saying that they sort of average sort of 10k a game.
What out?
Is it still the county ground? Is it still the it used to be a Premier League ground?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Wooder
So-
out all day. Terrible shout.
Wood
why
out.
would they out?
It's terrible. You upset
What-
5p, slagged off Swindon.
No, listen.
What the hell? Right,
I've said to Fivey, he's right on the other side of the fence of bringing fans in, because
You just
that-
think about Liverpool. You just think about Liverpool. Don't need the money. It's all about you. We know. We know.
No, listen. I'll listen to anyone's opinion. I'll listen to anyone's opinion, and I can respect it. And if you actually read some of my tweets, and you read some of it, I've actually said in the last week or two, the big clubs aren't going to benefit from fans going back in. It's the lower league clubs, and it is typically Swindon, them kind of that infrastructure that is going to benefit from it. I look at Fleetwood. I've been to Highbury a couple of times. Fleetwood Town, they're right on the coast, and whatever else. They need the revenue to go in. They're
Get them
not.
back in safely, then. Come on, it's your job. Get them back in safely.
And I think another point that we're missing here is I think the clubs that need the fans in most are probably the less equipped in terms of infrastructure to get them back in. So in terms of being able to have stewards that can do, COVID tests or spot checks or invest in hand sanitizer or make sure that the trains are socially distanced, I think that's the irony, that totally accept the lower leagues and need the fans in as soon as possible. Otherwise, we're going to lose a generation of lower league football. But I just do not think we've got the infrastructure from a transport, from a capacity, from a security point of view, to be able to actually do that. Now,
And that's where the bailout money should be going.
it should be absolutely.
Can I tell you, just while you're on that, can I tell you about, just to highlight that point, Tottenham Stadium? Obviously, it was only built last year. We'll talk about, I've been to Odsall. I've been to Odsall. I've looked down and just, and got a bit sort of frightened, a bit of vertigo kicked in. So, just to sort of talk about your point there. What was your point again?
That the lower league clubs are in most need, but have the less infrastructure around them to be able to cope.
Yeah, so I was talking about the Tottenham Stadium. I was going to talk about the Tottenham Stadium. So Tottenham Stadium, right, was built, obviously the Emirates got built and they went through a little bit of a flux or whatever. Tottenham have been, whatever. So Tottenham was this state-of-the-art stadium. And they actually, for their planning permission for the ground, they didn't just apply for, like most stadiums would apply for the grounds in which the stadium's built on. Nothing outside the stadium counts as the stadium. But Tottenham to knock down White Hart Lane and to build the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or whatever, they had to apply for planning permission from the council for the outside grounds, and they had to basically provide the steward and staff and security staff to the local bus stops, railway stations, and all that kind of stuff. But Tottenham Hotspur have a bit of technology, a bit of kit. This is a behind-the-scenes look at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Is when you are a season ticket holder and you are in the hospitality lounge, you can book your sort of meal and whatever else, and they know that you come in, your season ticket is already been logged into their system, and as soon as you enter or get off the train, for example, because it's Tottenham Hotspur's ground sort of remit, they actually pre-pour your pint or pre-cook your meal for when you arrive. They can time it like you be there in 10 minutes because you just got off the train.
That actually used to be my job at the Emirates Stadium.
Right.
What was?
Pre-pouring beers for half time.
Nice.
I think
I
you
used- I
say you
used
were
to
going to
work in a
watch
pub.
people and just go, he needs a pint him.
Yeah. I have 6 cents.
As is the right to whoever gets their selection into Room 101. They also get to choose what they want to be part of football in future, and what I have planned kind of feeds into this. So basically, football in future, the thing that I'm going to introduce is a lower league tax on top Premier League transfers. So 10% of every Premier League transfer goes into a kitty, and that money either acts as a crisis fund or an emergency loan for lower league clubs who are financially struggling. So that's going into football in future. Just before we wrap up, I know Rox is on now, so I want to kind of wrap up to not step on his toes. I do just want to plug our Winter World Cup. We have about half of the manager slots filled at the moment for the Winter World Cup, and we would like other people to get involved, more people from kind of all social media platforms to get involved. Smuts, do you fancy being involved? Do you fancy taking a team?
I was just about to put my hand up and ask very nicely if I could come out to play.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the key thing with this is it's going to be the first ever fully human controlled, fully network saved World Cup. It's a tester for the new year when we're going to go for the Guinness World Record with the biggest Champ Mano 102 network saved ever. What we want to do from that is identify maybe a dozen managers that can commit and are engaged and are going to give it their all. And in terms of if anybody out there is worried about kind of time commitment, because we've all got families and jobs and other commitments, you're probably looking at about 2 hours a week. So just for an example, this is how it's going to work. So let's imagine that Group A is South Korea, France, England and Belgium. The Group A teams, the 4 managers, they'll be given a time and hour slot to be on. They'll be on at the same time. We'll play those games, we'll view them. They'll be downloaded and pre-recorded with a little bit of chat around it and released as a YouTube series every week, where there'll be 4 or 5 games on there. So you don't need to be on live on the network save for the full stream when it goes out, because that will be a massive time investment. So you're looking at about an hour, 2 hours a week to commit and be part of something special and hopefully put your hat in the ring for the Guinness World Record for the largest ever network save of CM0102. Smuts, mate, you've been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for coming on, mate.
I have.
Really
You're
enjoyed
right.
your contribution. And thanks for all your support for the stream over the last couple of weeks. We really do appreciate it. Hopkins, any last words from you, mate?
Wood out.
Wood out. Wooder, any last words from you?
No, mate. I was going to say the obvious reply, which was Hopkins out, but I'm not that predictable.
Yeah, but you said it.
What I would say is that there's only one person on here that played with 8 men tonight because he forgot to make fucking 3 subs. So on that note, Duggan out. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Give us a like and a share and follow on your social media platform of choice. Smuts, we'll catch you in a bit, mate. The game's gone.
Cheers, lads.